Welcome to this explainer. Take a second right now and just look down at your belly. I mean it, look down. It turns out it's not just some simple digestive bag. We're actually walking around right now acting as the host planet for a bustling, unimaginably complex metropolis. That's right, you are the host to a microscopic civilization that's constantly working, communicating, and literally shaping how you feel, think, and even how you age. 100 trillion. That is the sheer scale of the residents. We're talking bacteria, viruses, fungi, the whole shebang, living right this second in your gut. To put that into perspective, they drastically outnumber all the human beings that have ever existed on Earth. Crazy, right? Together, this massive crowd, what scientists call your gut microbiome, contains vastly more genes than your own human body does. It basically acts as a secret, invisible organ. And when this city is happy, you thrive. But when it gets messy, well, that's from the tiredness, brain fog, skin issues, and even accelerated aging start creeping in. Section 1. Welcome to Gut City, the demographics and geography. Let's take a quick tour of the neighborhoods. In a healthy adult gut, two major groups basically run the show, like co-mayors. You've got the firmicutes and the bacterial DDs. Together, they make up about 90% of the population. Firmicutes are your big fiber lovers, while bacterial DDs specialize in breaking down complex carbs and proteins. But you've also got these vital niche workers, like Bifidobacterium, which loves milk sugars, and Akkermansia. Now, Akkermansia is fascinating. It actually eats the mucus lining of your gut, which, I know, sounds kind of bad, but its constant snacking actually stimulates your body to make a thicker, much healthier barrier. And finally, you have the proteobacteria. They're totally fine in small numbers, but if the city falls into chaos, they multiply and start producing these harmful endotoxins. And just like any real city, Gut City has very distinct geographic zones. From the start of the large intestine all the way to the end, the environment changes completely. Near the beginning, in the early colon, it's highly acidic with a pH of around 5.5, and it is absolutely packed with leftover fiber from your meals. This is the ultimate playground for specific bacteria like Faecalibacterium prausnitzii, which thrive in there and pump out incredibly healthy chemicals. But as you travel further down to the later colon, the fiber runs out, the acid drops, and a completely different set of microbial residents has to take over to finish the job. But the city isn't just laid out from front to back. It also builds vertically, from the inside out. Right in the center of the gut tube, the lumen, it's this dark, low-oxygen scrapyard just full of digesting food. But as you move closer to the gut wall, there is a sticky, two-layer mucus blanket. The outer layer of this blanket is essentially a cozy, oxygen-rich apartment complex for our mucus-eating friend Akkermansia. The inner layer, however, is a total VIP zone kept almost entirely germ-free by tiny natural defense molecules and antibodies known as SLGA. Section 2. The chemical factories, fueling the city. So, the absolute rock stars of the gut are these molecules called short-chain fatty acids. When your good bacteria ferment the fiber you eat, they produce three main acids: acetate, propionate, and butyrate. In a perfectly tuned gut city, they are produced in this highly specific 60 to 20 to 20 ratio. And almost all of them get quickly absorbed by your body to do some truly incredible things. Among those rock stars, butyrate is the ultimate headliner. Think of it as an ultra-premium energy drink for the cells lining your colon. It actually provides up to 70% of their daily fuel. But its power goes way, way beyond that. By binding to specific cellular sensors and blocking certain enzymes called HDACs, butyrate actively calms inflammation and strengthens the gut wall. It even helps control your hunger and blood sugar by signaling your body to release hormones like GLP-1. It's essentially sending a message upstairs saying, hey, we're fed down here, you can stop eating now, while simultaneously turning on regulatory T cells to prevent your immune system from overreacting. Beyond providing energy, there is also a specialized cleanup crew at work. Your liver creates primary bile acids to digest fat, right? But when a little bit of that bile reaches the colon, your gut bacteria transform it into secondary bile acids. Some of the most long-lived people on Earth actually host rare bacteria that produce a specific secondary bile acid called isoallolCA. This molecule acts like a targeted assassin. It can take out incredibly tough bad bugs like C. diff without leaving a single scratch on the friendly, good neighbors. Section 3. The Gut-Body Highway. Inner city communication. This communication superhighway is incredibly vast. For example, special cells in your gut actually manufacture about 90% of your body's serotonin. Yes, 90% of your primary feel-good chemical is made right there. These microbial signals travel straight up the vagus nerve to the brain. We also have a gut-lung axis, where gut-trained immune cells travel up to protect your airways. Then there's the gut-liver connection, where a staggering 75% of the blood reaching your liver comes straight from the gut. And even your skin relies on those short-chain fatty acids we just talked about to lock in moisture and keep its barrier tight. But here is why all this matters so much. What happens when the city walls break down? If that mucus barrier gets weak, we get what's commonly called a leaky gut. Gram-negative bacteria start shedding endotoxins, or LPS, which sneak right into your bloodstream. Suddenly, you have this low-grade, body-wide inflammation. In the brain, this can cause harmful proteins to misfold in the gut nerves and travel up to the brain, which we actually see years before classic symptoms appear in Parkinson's disease. In the liver, it can trigger a chain reaction from fatty liver all the way to cirrhosis. And on the skin, it drives conditions like psoriasis and eczema. Basically, a breached wall means chaos absolutely everywhere. Section 4, Secrets of Aging Well, the centenarian microbiome. As we get older, our microbiome essentially reaches a fork in the road. For those experiencing frail aging, the diversity of the city drops, inflammation rises, and the person gets stuck in an old Bacteroides-heavy rut. But for people who age well, starting around their 40s or 50s, their gut becomes highly unique and personalized. They actually lose some of those common core bacteria and pick up highly specialized species. This constant adaptation is what keeps them resilient. People who lack this unique shift face a much, much higher risk of immobility and mortality in their later years. When scientists look closely at centenarians, the folks who live to 100 or more, they find a really remarkable set of shared traits. Their gut cities retain incredibly high overall diversity. They have a massive abundance of bifidobacterium and our mucus-loving friend Akkermansia. They're also rich in those rare bacteria that produce the protective isoallo-LCA bile acid. And amazingly, they even have a richer collection of helpful viruses called bacteriophages, whose sole job is to support the good bacteria. It is just a perfectly balanced, deeply fortified ecosystem. Section 5, Upgrading Your Gut Health, from probiotics to living medicine. For years, we relied on simple probiotics derived from food. Now, they're perfectly safe and they can definitely help a bit, but they usually just pass through the city without actually setting up shop. Plus, they aren't really designed to cure specific diseases. Enter the next generation approach, live biotherapeutic products, or LBPs. These are official FDA-approved living medicines, treated with the exact precision of a pharmaceutical drug, and they're designed to actually move in and alter the landscape. And this is already a reality with targeted treatments. 2 are already FDA-approved for preventing repeated C. diff infections. First, there's Rebiota, which is a carefully screened single-donor liquid loaded with Bacteroides and Firmicutes given directly to restore a broad, healthy community instantly. Then there's Voust, which uses purified spores from Firmicutes only. You take it as an oral capsule, and in massive trials, it slashed the chance of C. diff returning from 40% down to an incredible 12%. We are literally transplanting entire new workforces right into the city. The future of this is mind-blowing. Researchers, aided by AI, are currently designing smart, engineered bacteria that can literally sense trouble in the gut and release anti-inflammatory molecules right on demand. But until those hit the shelves, the simplest everyday support for your city remains the absolute best foundation. You have to feed the good residents. That means eating plenty of different plant fibers. It means not bombing the city with overused antibiotics. It means moving your body, prioritizing sleep, and managing your stress. Those simple habits give the good residents the exact environment they need to thrive. Taking care of the tiny city inside you is proving to be one of the most powerful, proactive ways to support your whole health for today and for decades to come. So I'm going to leave you with this question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. Look down at your belly. How will you feed your city today?